Welcome or welcome back to A Game of Fangs and Thrones. My name's Hannah and this is the start of another weekly reading vlog. So it is Monday the 2nd of August. I've already filmed my wrap up and my haul. They were long videos, I have no idea how long the wrap up is, but the haul was about half an hour long. So plans for this week, my new bed gets delivered tomorrow and I think we're going to York on Wednesday, so there'll be fun little different things to do on my week off. And I actually still have to put these piles of books back on the shelves. And in terms of what I'm reading at the moment, I'm reading Citadel by Kate Moss. It's a 900-page book and I think I'm on page 700 already. If you saw the TBL game, you'll know that I picked Citadel as a favourite author, although I changed it a little bit for auto-buy, but I think Kate Moss is slowly becoming a favourite. And I can't really remember what that book is about other than, because I'm so far in, so I'm not sure what I can and can't tell you for spoilers. But we follow Sandrine, who is 18 and living in Nazi-occupied France in 1942. And she meets Raoul, who's a member of the resistance, and then he saves her from drowning because she's found something of his friends in a river, and it goes from there. It turns out that the resistance member who was found in the river is actually involved with some even more underground religious network looking for something called the Codex. We learn about the Codex through a second timeline set in the 1340s, all set in Corsican. And he is a priest. He has been not exiled, I don't think, but he's been tasked with removing this heretical document that comes into play in the 1940s timeline. And we also follow Bayard Ardrick, who has been a bit of a side character in the first two books, Labyrinth and Sepulchre, but we learn more about him and his motives in this one, and I think this might be his last outing. I know Citadel is the conclusion to Languedoc, which is the name of the series that Labyrinth and Sepulchre also are part of. I am flying through it. The writing, for being like a 900-odd page book, the writing is so simple, it works, and it's short chapters as well, which helps you feel like you're going through the book a lot quicker, and it is multi-perspective, and there is the two timelines. So I'm probably just going to put these books away and then read. I don't know what else I'm planning for the rest of the day, but I do have the haul and the wrap up to get sorted, and they are long books, long videos, so I think that's it for this update, and welcome to the vlog. An early morning update for you all. Well, I say early, it's like 7:30. Let's just check. Okay, it's more like bad lighting. There we go, is that better? It's 8:15. And last night I did finish Citadel, and to no one's surprise, it got 5 stars, and it may have put me in a bit of a book hangover because I didn't know what to pick up after finishing it, and it was about 9:30ish, so I was just working on my next knitting project. It's the same project as all the other ones, just a blanket, but this time it's for me. So I'm just looking at the TBR trolley and seeing what I fancy. Because Citadel was quite a heavy book in terms of topic, and the fact that it was like 915 pages, I'm thinking I go a little bit lighter in size and tone. And if there's one thing you should know about me, I love dragons. Because you can just see, there is the little poster from Brisingr in the background there. think he was Brissinger. Brissinger was by Christopher Paolini, the third in the Inheritance books. So I absolutely adore dragons. So I'm thinking of picking up Dragon Mountain by Katie and Kevin Sang. This follows Billy, whose parents send him off to a summer camp in the mountains of China. He'd much rather be spending holidays at home than hanging out with total strangers at Camp Dragon. That's until he and his fellow campmates stumble upon the entrance to a secret mountain and find 4 real-life warrior dragons trapped inside, fearsome, clever and dangerous, and have been waiting for him. So that should be quite a fun little adventure story, and it is only I really check this before I do anything, shouldn't I? 319, and this book came with his own bookmark. Okay, technically it is a promotional item for Dragon Legend with the name of the next book in the series as well, but it's a bookmark. We are not with a dragon on it. We are not going to turn our noses up at that. So today's plan is new bed day. Hi, in case you didn't know, my name's Hannah and I built my bed. But yeah, the new bed is coming at about lunchtime, so I've got some time to kill before I have to put that together, and I can finally move away from this very cozy. It doesn't look cozy, but it actually is. It's like 3 mattresses and a load of pillows and some cushions. And no, I don't have 2 quilts. One is my weighted blanket. So yeah, I just have to wait for that to be delivered, and then the next thing will be obviously to get a bigger bookshelf for this spot here. And I think, hopefully I don't, but I think I'm going to be losing access to the bottom 2 shelves. That's going to be fun. I'm just going to have to put them ones on top of there, but that'll be fun. And I think that's everything for this update. I'll let you know what's happening with Dragon Mountain when I get a little bit into it, but it's dragons. I can't really go wrong with dragons, but it's coffee time first. I think coffee first before we do anything else this morning, so I'll see you soon. Well, it's Tuesday night, and this is the first time I've actually sat down since about 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1:30. My bed came. That was when my bed was delivered, and since then I made the bed. I had to rearrange everything to get the bed in, and then obviously had to rearrange and put everything that I'd taken out back in. But it's really comfy, and it's one of the ottoman ones, so it opens. So I've got some under the bed storage, which has come in so handy. But I did start reading Dragon Mountain by Katie and Kevin Sang. I think this one was the prompt for dragon in the title. Let's just double check. Yep, read a book with a dragon on the cover in the title. So that's what this one was. It's a cute middle grade, and after Citadel put me in a book hangover, I've decided. So I needed something fun, fluffy, quick. So this is what I picked, and as you can tell, I did the right choice, considering I woke up at like 9-ish, I think it was, and then read until whenever the bed came, and I'm on page 287 of about 320. So I'll probably have that finished tonight. But I don't think I told you fully what... Just adjust. Hey, you can see my plant babies. I have a little aloe vera there, and then at the top... We'll show you tomorrow. So basically it follows Billy, who is 12. He's a champion surfer from California, but his parents decide to send him to China for cultural reasons. He is American Chinese, his mum is white, his dad is Chinese but speaks Cantonese, from Hong Kong I believe it was, but this camp focuses mainly on Mandarin. Now Billy has some Mandarin but not a lot, but the camp is teaching them that. He arrives late, so he doesn't have a good first impression on the camp owner's grandson JJ, so they immediately get off on the wrong foot, but that's where he meets Dylan, who is Irish but has a talent for languages, and he meets Charlotte, who I have to admit I love Charlotte. She is a Southern beauty pageant champion and jiu-jitsu champion, and she's just so precocious and I love her. She's so confident, but it's not overconfident in the case it comes across as arrogance all the time. She's just funny, and she's just a precocious 12-year-old. So they all end up at the dragon camp, and they meet the owner, who introduces himself as Old Gold. He's also our other main character, Li Sang. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, but she's very quiet, reserved. I think she might be an old soul. She seems to be a little bit more older and reserved than the other kids. So they meet her. They are all grouped together, and something happens in their first trial where they meet a disappearing tiger, and they find Dragon Mountain. And that's all I'm going to tell you for fear of spoilers, but it is a really quick read. So I'm probably just going to finally sit down and relax and just chill. When we were putting the bed in, I did lose access to 2 shelves, so I just have that to reorganise, but I can do that tomorrow. It's just a little bit annoying because my books are not in order and some of them are the wrong way around, but we can do that tomorrow, I think, because I am going to York tomorrow as well, so that'll just be a work in progress. So yeah, I think that's everything for this update. I'll probably come back in a bit to tell you my final thoughts on Dragon Mountain, but at the moment it's given me a 4-star, 4, maybe 5-star, because of how quick I am reading it and I am really enjoying it. But we'll just see what Court comes out as, because I'm thinking of 4-star, which we know is a average rating for me. But yeah, that's it for this little update. I'm not going to give you a room tour or a organisation tour just yet, because there is the 2 old mattresses that were part of the old sleeping arrangement, and some cardboard boxes and just some bits of rubbish that needs to be taken out as well. I need to phone the council to do that. But yeah, I think that's it for this update, and I'll speak to you soon. And told you I'd be back. So I finished Dragon Mountain, and it came out at a surprising 5-star. Now I say surprising because I wasn't getting the emotional connection that that automatically gives me that 5-star vibe. However, the technical bits of it and the characters were what pushed it pushed it up. I do question the logic, but it's middle grade. Parents do some stupid stuff in middle grade. These parents allow a 12-year-old to fly from California to China on his own. So yeah, logic. But after that, when he's actually at the camp, everything makes sense for what it needs to do, if that makes sense. But I said this before, but Charlotte is definitely my favourite. We've all know someone like her when we may have even been that child. The overconfident, not full of themselves, but sure of themselves, but which works perfectly against Dylan, who is our Irish character, and he's a little bit less sure of himself. So I'm hoping, so Charlotte and Dylan kind of balance each other out, which is nice. The criticism I have with this book, which I'm hoping will be addressed in the second book, just going by how this one ended and where I think the second one's going to go. More dragons, please. I mean, I can understand it takes a while for them to meet the dragons, because we have to set up the world and whatnot, and then the plot takes a turn that means that the dragons are separated from the kids for a big chunk of the second half, which it was still fun to read, but I just want more dragons. So hopefully Dragon Legend, because of how Dragon Mountain ended, will address that. And I don't know what to read next. This is going to be a theme for this week, I think, because we've started the month off with 2 5-star reads. One putting me into a book hangover, the other being a surprising 5-star. I think that was my first 5-star middle grade, actually, but I have a lot more books to choose from, so I think because Dragon Mountain was heavy on the Chinese mythology, I think I might flip it and read Troy by Stephen Fry. Obviously this is his take on the Trojan War and the events of that. I have read Mythos and Heroes and really enjoyed those, but Greek myths are my, I don't want to say jam, but they are my preferred mythology, let's just say, over like Chinese or Roman, Norse. I think I just know more about the Greek mythology than other ones, so it'll be interesting to read that one. And with it being a non-fiction, I can always dip in and out when I get bored. I don't tend to read more than one book at a time, but I know that with non-fiction sometimes it is a little bit dry, but when I was reading Heroes and Mythos, I could almost hear Stephen Fry as I was reading it. I could almost hear him reading it to me. He had a very distinctive writery voice. It's almost as distinctive as his normal voice. If you just watch QI, you'll know what I mean. Or even St. Trinian's as well, because I think he had a cameo in that. So I think that will be the next book, and it is only 8:05. So I'll probably come back to you when I'm a little way into that and tell you what's happening with that one. Okay, I'll see you soon. It's Wednesday. I have a couple of things to update you on. First, I had a lovely time in York, apart from the fact that we got rained on. I went to the designer outlet store. I didn't buy any books, so it was fun. But then at about 2-3 o'clock we actually got rained on, and I've just been in the shower to, I got wet, so I want to get clean now, if that makes sense. So in terms of what I'm currently reading, I'm working my way through Troy by Stephen Fry. This was just the dust jacket, but this is the third in his series of Greek myths, and it does what it says on the tin. It is the story of Troy. I'm about halfway through, and with it being non-fiction, it was the non-fiction pick for Game of TBR. I'm not going to rate it the same way I would rate my fiction books, because you can't, because this is real, this has happened. So I'm just going to rate it on enjoyment, and at the moment it's sitting at a 4. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not loving it. And I'm sitting at this angle because, as you can see, there are a lot of books stacked up there, and double stacked just under here. I don't think you can see it. So that's the plan for tonight, to rearrange and do a bit of order to these shelves. Oh, I might vlog it, but I still can't find my camera remote. It'll be around somewhere. I don't think I've thrown it out. It's just with all the rearranging that's been going on in this bit, things are not where they're supposed to be, and I'm having to rejig everything. So that I'm probably not going to show you that, but I might show you an overview of when it's done. So I think that's it for this update. But I had a really good time, and I'm halfway through. Oh, it's right here. See, halfway through, and this is brilliant. My bookmark is, I think this is Athena, and this was from Fairy Loot. I've lost the tassel. They never seem to last long for me. But yeah. So it's my plans for this balmy, because it's quite warm but not too warm, Wednesday evening. I have reading vlogs on telly, on YouTube ready to go, and we're just going to put some organisation into these shelves. Wish me luck. It's Thursday. Yep, Thursday the 5th of August, and I finished Troy by Stephen Fry. Now, I didn't run it through Corkile, just because this is a non-fiction, and it's kind of hard to base it on to give a character rating when these are real-ish people. If you didn't know, and if I didn't give a synopsis, in Troy, Stephen Fry is giving his take on the events of the mythical / historical battle of Troy that happened in Greece. I say mythical / historical because people to this day are still unsure if it was a real battle or if it was a series of battles that Homer who was a Greek poet, put together as one big one. So it follows. I think everybody is aware of the basic storyline, the basic bones of this myth. Helen of Troy is the most beautiful woman in the world, and Paris of Greece kidnaps her, and that starts the battle. But it is a little bit more complex than that. We have a lot of history to these people. The gods get involved, and we know from other Greek myths that whenever the gods get involved, things don't go according to plan. So I'm not rating the story of Troy or the myth of Troy so much as the enjoyment factor and the writing from Stephen Fry. And so it came out, so like I said, I didn't run it through Corpile, but it did come out on my own personal scale at 5-star. So that's been a week of 5 stars so far, which is a great way to start August. But it does mean that I struggle to pick from the TBR trolley. So I think, because it is still quite early and I don't go back to work until next Thursday, the next biggest book on the TBR is The Well of Ascension, which is book 2 of Mistborn Era 1 by Brandon Sanderson. As this is a sequel, I can't really tell you much about it, but I think everybody on BookTube knows about the Mistborn series anyway. But it follows, in this world you can ingest metal for powers. You can either ingest one metal and be known as an Allomancer, or ingest all of the metals and be known as a Mistborn. Now Kelsier is a Mistborn, and he is instigating a rebellion because in this world the Dark Lord won, and he recruits Vin, who is a young Scar girl, and the Scar are pretty much the lowest of the low. They are almost slaves, and he thinks that having her on board will be a morality boost, and plus Vin has been subconsciously using allomancy for years and not realizing it. She's just been calling it the luck, and her luck, and the trace elements in the water and her surroundings have been enough for her to burn subconsciously. So I've got no idea where this is going to go, especially after the end of Mistborn. The Final Empire. And we'll see what happens. I have high hopes for this one because I did enjoy the Final Empire. And in case you're wondering, this was the prompt for snow or white on the cover, and as you can see, this is almost all white. So we'll make a start on that one. And I always find it funny when I can match throw it on the floor. Match the book to the bookmark. I think I actually have a Mistborn bookmark. Let me have a look. Yes, I do. Help if I show you the Mistborn quote. So I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it says, "Let them see my weakness and let them see me overcome it." Brandon Sanderson. And I think this must be Vin at the bottom. But yeah, I got this from Fairy Loot, but it just makes me smile when I can match the bookmark to the book. So this is 763 pages, and it is quite small text, but from what I remember, Brandon Sanderson's writing isn't heavy, or it's not overly complicated, but it isn't simple, if that makes sense at all. But yeah, just popping in to let you know that was the case. I know I said I was rearranging books last night, but to be honest, I just sort of tidied up the stacks I've got going on over there, and double stacked some stuff at the bottom. But I'm waiting until I get some shelves, so that's going to be an ongoing project. But isn't everybody's book collection an ongoing project? But I'll speak to you when I'm a little bit into this book. The next part of this vlog will probably be a little bit vague because spoilers. Yeah, I'll get back to you when I have something to say. So it's Friday. Do you like my t-shirt? It's Grogu. Anywho, so not COVID. I feel like every time I cough or sneeze, I have to follow it up with not COVID. So when I left you on Wednesday, I said I was just about to start The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 2 of the first Mistborn era. And so far I am this much in. I'm on page 223. I'm about to start chapter 20. So I am going to try and keep this vague, but basically this is the sequel to The Final Empire, which introduced us to the world of Allomancers, Mistborns, and the Lord Ruler. We were introduced to Vin, who is so prickly, but we love her anyway. So I feel like I don't need to explain what The Final Empire is about. Brandon Sanderson is doing the rounds on BookTube at the moment, I think. But this is an adult fantasy, which is why I'm reading it now, and after 2 days I feel like I'm making good progress with it. In this one though, we are introduced to some new characters. Zane is one I am particularly interested in reading about. He has a very interesting backstory at the moment from what we know of him, and he may be a little bit insane. So yeah, there's that. And then I did break my unofficial book buying ban, but I bent the rules a little bit. I didn't actually buy this one. It was bought for me. We went shopping in Aldi, which is like a little discount supermarket in the UK, and they had a couple of books in the special aisles. If you're in England, you know the joy that you find in the Aldi special buys. But we have Love, Simon by Becky Albertalli. I don't normally go for the movie covers, but for £3, and I wasn't buying this, you can't really complain. But this is the movie cover for Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda. When it was made into a movie, they changed the name. So Simon is 16 and trying to work out who he is and what he's looking for. But when one of his emails falls to the very distracting Blue, falls into wrong hands, things get all kinds of complicated, because for Simon, falling for Blue is a big deal. I think this is just a contemporary coming of age story and dealing with coming out. I do have Leah on the offbeat on August's TBR, and hopefully I can read Leah before I read Simon, but either way, the contemporaries, you can, as far as I know, read contemporaries out of order. They aren't like fantasies where everything follows a linear perspective or a linear plot. Saying that, I've got no idea. You never know. I might spoil myself for Leah on the offbeat, but I can always watch the movie as well. I'm sure it's on Netflix. So that's that. I did watch Jungle Cruise today as well. That was a really funny movie, and it does feature, I know this is probably not a big deal, but for me it was quite funny. It has a swear word in it, and I love it when Disney gets away with putting curse words in. But more importantly, it does have a gay character. Now, I know there was some discussion about if Gaston from the live action Beauty and the Beast was gay, but this guy, it's McGregor, played by Jack Whitehall, and he pretty much confirms that the reason why he's, I'm trying to keep it vague, but basically McGregor is our main female character's sister, and The Rock's character Frank asks him why he's always there. Why did he give up his life to follow Lily? And McGregor explains that it's because when he refused yet another acceptable match from a woman, he had to decline to saying that he wasn't interested in her. In fact, his interests lay elsewhere. Because of that, he was ostracised from from society. He was cut out of his uncle's will, and Lily was the only one that stayed with him. So I thought that was nice. It wasn't a big deal, and it just nice slow moving part of the plot that gives you an insight into some characters, which wasn't a big deal, but for a lot of people I know that is going to be a big thing, you know, seeing yourself in the media. My camera is going to start flashing at me now, so I'm going to put it on charge and continue reading The Wall of Ascension and catch up on some booktube. Bye for now. An update on a Saturday afternoon. What is going on? But the football's on, so that's why I'm not at Sean's, because he's gone to the football and I'm not really a football fan. So, updates. You can see there is a little bag here, so we'll get to that in a minute. In terms of the book, I think I'm probably going to end up carrying this on until Monday. I'm on page 463 of 763, so I've still got like 300 pages left to go. Really enjoying being back in the world. If you are interested in Brandon Sanderson or starting adult or epic fantasy, I would definitely recommend starting with the Mistborn series. They are chunky, I'm not gonna lie, they do take a bit of work getting through, but Sanderson's writing is very simple, but not overly simple. He doesn't pander to you, but at the same time he doesn't make it overly complicated, and I do find that his characters are spot on for what the world is. So we don't have overly soft main characters who've lived a life of luxury. Well, no, we do in this book, but she's getting her wake-up call. In terms of the character development, I am loving Orisia. I think I said that right. But Orisia, if you know who he is, he's getting a personality now, which is brilliant. But that's the point, and that's not a criticism. And Zane as well, we're learning more about him. I do hope that, I don't want it to be a romance between Vin and Zane, but I do hope there is at least an expansion of the relationship that they have at the moment, maybe more of a friendship. And yes, I finally got my Fairy Loot and Illumicrate cushions. I finally found some stuffing for them, so they just probably sit at the end of the book, at the end of the bed in the videos, until I can find something else. So we went to Waterstones. We have Hexed by Julia Tufts. Now, don't know much about this one, but it was the back that got me, and the fact that I believe this is witchy. So the first time it came out of nowhere. It was a Wednesday morning. I'd been sitting in maths wishing that jerk-faced Callum Henderson understood what it was like to have an imperfection, because it might stop him from tormenting other people about theirs. Then suddenly I was bent over double as pain swept through my body, and a second later Callum's smug, previously unblemished face was covered in huge red spots. So yeah, that was the first time that I was a witch. Jessie Jones has just discovered she has powers, real powers, but can she use them to take down the toxic boys who rule her school, or is she totally hexed? Now, because that said maths, M-A-T-H-S, I'm guessing that this is set in the UK, if not written by a UK author. But to be honest, I don't know anything about this. I only picked it up because I recognised the title from a recipe card that I got from Bookbox Club. I think I have a vlog for it. So that's book 1, and then, because it is buy one get one half price and I can't resist those stickers, we got Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. and just look at how pretty this book is. So Amari Peters knows 3 things. Her brother Quentin has gone missing. No one will talk about it. His mysterious job holds a clue. But then a strange invitation arrives. Amari has the chance to join the Magical Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, completing missions in a world where mermaids, aliens and magicians are real. And her roommate is a were-dragon. Dragon, yay! Secrets and surprises await Amari as she discovers her own rare and dangerous magical power, and soon she realises that the Bureau could hold the key to finding her brother. All she has to do is pass 3 tryouts. This is by B.B. Alston, and that is by Julia Tufts, in case I didn't mention it. And then because I visited Waterstones, I kinda had to visit my other favourite bookshop in Newcastle City Centre, which is a Forbidden Planet, and I've just knocked over the Primark bag. If anybody's interested, I did buy another cardie, but this one has a zip and a hood. But you're not here for that, you're here for the books. So we have Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. Welcome to the city of sin, where casino families reign, gangs infest the streets, and secrets hide in every shadow. Anne Salter was raised as a proper young lady, and no lady would willingly visit New Rains, the so-called city of sin. But when her mother goes missing, Anne must leave her finishing school and her reputation behind to follow her mother's trail to the city where no one survives uncorrupted. Frightened and alone, Anne has only one lead, the name Levi Glacier. Unfortunately, Levi is not the gentleman she expected. He is a street lord and a con man running a rapidly unravelling investment scheme. Anne's offer of compensation, however, could be the solution to all his problems. As Anne, I'm sure I'm saying that right, but it's E-N-N-A? E-N-N-E. Anne. As Annie unearths an impossible secret about her past, Levi's enemies catch up to them, ensnaring him in a vicious execution game where the players always lose. To save him, Annie will need to surrender herself to the city, and she'll need to play. I'm liking casino books as well at the moment, and this gives me a bit of a Regency vibe, I want to say, where the whiter than white, innocent young lady gets involved in some not so nice things and comes out more rounded for it. The last book of this mini haul is the Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. I have looked everywhere for this book. The Emperor's reign has lasted for decades. His mastery of bone shard magic, powering the animal-like constructs that maintain law and order. But now his rule is failing, and revolution is sweeping across the Empire's many islands. When the Emperor refuses to recognise his daughter as heir to the throne, she vows to prove her worth by mastering the forbidden art of bone shard magic. Yet such magic carries a deadly cost. Now, I believe in this one, obviously it does deal with bone magic, but it also deals with amnesia. I think the Emperor's daughter has amnesia, or something's happened to her and she can't remember. But I'm not going to say I'm excited to read these because it's kind of implied, but that's not a bad haul for me, considering last month I ended up with, how many? Was it like 26 or something ridiculous like that? But yeah, those are the books I've purchased today, and this is only a quick update, but I'm going to go downstairs, watch the rest of the Olympics, well, I'll put it on in the background at least, and read. So I'm going to finish this because it's so good. I have no idea where the plot is going, but to be honest, I'm just here for the ride a lot of the times when I read books. So yeah, that's going to be fun, and I'll see if something happens. can probably tell, I finished. Why do I keep wanting to call it the final number? No, that was book 1. I finished The Well of Ascension, and I gave that 5 stars. Everything was perfect about it. I couldn't think of any faults. I did have to rate it slightly lower for atmosphere because it just wasn't as good as the first book for me, but it was an 8, so it's still really good. The next book I'm going to be reading is Black Key by Amy Ewing. I think that's what it's called, but it was the read a Kindle book prompt if anybody's interested. If anybody saw that video. Yeah, read a book on your Kindle /e-reader. So I'm going to be reading The Black Key by Amy Ewing. This is the finale to the Lone City trilogy, which is a bit of a dystopian dealing with surrogacy and powers. I think I can't remember what the first book was. No, the first book was The Duel, and then the second book I want to say was called The Lone City, but I'm not 100% on that one. But I'm just going to probably just edit for the rest of the night, maybe read while I'm doing that. Hopefully you will have seen my new intro. Let me know what you think about it. If there's anything you think I could improve on, let me know. So I'm just going to do that for the rest of the night and maybe read, and I'll probably come back to you tomorrow. So I finished Black Key by Amy Ewing. I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. I enjoyed it enough when I was reading it, but it wasn't anything too exciting or memorable or anything like that. But when I do rate things 3 star, it's not a mark that the book is bad. It just means that the book is okay. And because it's on the Kindle, I'll keep it, and it might, if I need a quick read, I'll probably read the series again. But that was the book for read a book on your Kindle /e-reader prompt, and I have read 5 books so far. 4 physical, 1 Kindle. So I'm doing well. I think what I'm going to read next is Pawn by Amy Carter. That's the prompt for read the oldest book on your TBR, and that is dystopian as well. It gives me dystopian vibes from what I remember of the synopsis. I can't be bothered to go and reach it, but from what I remember, the world is sectioned into castes, as it always is in dystopia, and our girl is in a lower end caste, but she has a remarkable similarity to the Prime Minister's daughter, who is missing. So our main character is invited to take the place of the Prime Minister's daughter to make sure that, to try and find out that keep everything on the straight and narrow, make sure nobody knows, because I'm assuming there's a reason why our main character in particular was picked, other than the resemblance. But we'll have a read and see what is going on. Plans for today, because it is Sunday, and as you can tell by the background, I am still at home, but I am seeing Sean today. We are going to see Suicide Squad later. About lunchtime he's picking me up, so I'll have some time to read. So I'm going to read Pawn. Well, first of all, I'm going to get dressed. I'm still in jammies, but it is only It's not even 8 o'clock yet, so I'm alright. So yeah, I'm going to get dressed, and put some clothes on. Well, yes, Hannah, that's what getting dressed involves. And I'm going to read porn for a bit. I don't have a bookmark for Dystopia, I don't think. No, I don't. Oh well, we'll just pick up I want to be, because it's paperback and quite a thin paperback, I'll probably just use one of my clippy magnetic bookmarks. And you needed to know that because. But yeah, I'll speak to you in a bit when I've got a little bit way into porn and I can tell you a bit more about the plot. It's Sunday afternoon. I said I would update you when I get a little bit into porn, which is right here, but I finished it. And basically we follow Kitty, who is a 17-year-old orphan, and on her 17th birthday she takes the test to determine her worth in society. All of the 17-year-olds in this country take it. It's about 70 years since the fall of democracy in Washington. I'm just going to pop you down. Nope, too low. Is that better? Slightly better, but my arm's tired. So, we don't want to do that again. So I'm watching Jodie's vlog on my computer because I can't find my Fire Stick remote. It'll be around somewhere, I'm not too concerned. But what was I saying? Oh yes, so Kitty takes the test on her birthday and she is marked as a 3. Now in this world the caste system is devised of numbers, with 1 being the lowest, and I think it's 7. I was never very good at Roman numerals, but I think it's VIII, so it's either 7 or 8. And it was a fun, quick read. Did raise an interesting question about who decides what you're worth to society and who decides what's important and what's not, because Kitty isn't she's not book smart as such. If you tell her something she'll remember it. If she can do complex maths in her head, she just can't read, and it is implied that because she can't do that she is lesser. There is, in the edition I have of this book, it does have some book club questions, and it mentions that Kitty is dyslexic in those, but the word isn't mentioned in the book, but you begin to think that maybe it is something like that, because she is clever, she just can't read, which does limit her in this test. So she is a 3, she's marked as a 3. She doesn't want to do the job she's assigned, so she goes to this club where she plans on selling her virginity, but she is bought by the Prime Minister instead, who tells her that his niece Leela Hart died under mysterious circumstances, and he needs Kitty to take Lila's place, and events go from there. A little baby plant looks like it's floating. Oh, you see, it is not a mark on the blinds, that is a baby plant. Anyway, I got distracted because it looked quite cute. So it was a fun read. Maybe, yeah, even though Kitty is 17 and she does go through there are some quite important topics and a little bit of a graphic scene at one point. I think this is probably geared towards younger readers or maybe dyslexic readers themselves. But for me, it just didn't hit the mark. I thought it was fun. It was enjoying. I enjoyed it at the time, but I'm rating it a 3-star. And just because it's a 3-star doesn't mean it's a bad book. It's just not a book for me. I didn't really gel with the the writing or the characters. In fact, I found Kitty a little bit naive at times. So this one will go into the unhaul box, which is slowly filling up. My sister throws things in there occasionally as well, so I hope if she's throwing out a book that I'm interested in or that I want to give it a try, I'll pick it up and put it on my shelves, and she knows that if she wants a new book or to borrow a book, she knows that she can just look at that box and she doesn't need to return it. And look at what my boyfriend's mum got me from their holiday. He's a little cookie and he's eating a frog. He's adorable. And my dad was on holiday this week as well. He went to Scotland and he got me a little hairy haggis, which sounds wrong when you say it like that, but it's cute. It's just up on the bookshelf and I can't be bothered to get it. So that's that. I've read 6 books this week. I'm not going to do a wrap up of all the books I've read because I can't be bothered and I'm lazy. So if I do pick up anything tonight, I'll let you know in next week's vlog, which starts for me tomorrow. And yeah, so that's it for now. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see this talk about them, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.